Welcome to Season 1 finale of Multi-Mind, Mental Wellness for the Multi-Hyphenate. I'm Artis Desjardins, and we've been on this journey together through Q1, from managing chaos to strategic energy allocation, from motivation without crisis to scaling one venture while maintaining another. And now we're at the end of the quarter. March is closing, and Q2 is approaching. Before you jump into the next phase, you need to pause and reflect. Today, we're doing something different, a comprehensive mental wellness audit for multi-hyphenates, looking at what worked, what drained you, and what needs to shift in Q2. Because the only way to sustain this multi-venture life long-term is to regularly check in with yourself and recalibrate. So let's do that together. It's the last week of March, and I'm looking back at Q1. And here's what I accomplished. 3 consulting clients, 6 YouTube videos published, I built out my client onboarding system, and I generated some money in consulting revenue. On paper, it looks productive. It looks like progress. But what I'm also noticing, I'm exhausted in a way I wasn't in January. My content quality dropped halfway through February. I've been neglecting relationships because I'm always working. I can't remember the last time I did something just for fun. And I'm thinking, I have 9 more months until December 2026. Can I sustain this pace for 9 more months? Because right now the answer feels like no. And then I realized before I plan Q2, I need to audit Q1, not just what I accomplished, but what it cost me to accomplish it. Because if the cost is burning out before I even quit my 9 to 5, I need to adjust the strategy. I pulled up my calendar, looked at my weekly schedules, and I started asking harder questions. Which weeks felt sustainable? Which weeks left me depleted? Which ventures took more energy than I expected? Which ventures gave energy back? And what became clear? I was operating at about 95% capacity every single week, which means any unsuspected challenges, a bad day at a 9 to 5, a client emergency, a personal issue would push me over the edge. I had no buffer, no margin, no space for being human. That's not sustainable for 9 more months. And here's why the end of quarter audit is critical for multi-hyphenates. Progress without reflection leads to burnout. You can hit every goal, check every box, scale every venture, and still end up depleted, resentful, and disconnected from why you started. Sustainable multi-venture building requires regular recalibration. And what compounds that is that Q1 is always deceptive. Everyone starts the year with fresh energy, new year motivation. This is the year mindset. But Q1 energy doesn't represent the rest of the year. If you play in Q1 based on maximum capacity and enthusiasm, Q2 will hit differently. You need to assess what's actually sustainable, not what was possible during peak motivation. Plus, there's a comparison trap. You're seeing other entrepreneurs posting their Q1 wins, the best quarter ever posts, the revenue screenshots, and you're thinking, should I have done more? Did I waste Q1? The audit isn't about comparison. It's about honest assessment of what served you and what drained you. Because the goal isn't just to build successful businesses. It's to build businesses that don't destroy you in the process. And the only way to know if your strategy is sustainable is to regularly audit the mental and emotional cost. So here's the framework. A mental wellness audit across the 5 content pillars we've explored this season. This isn't just productivity tracking. This is holistic assessment of how Q1 affected your entire system. Pillar 1, identity and integration. How many professional identities did I actively manage in Q1? Which identity felt most aligned with who I am right now? Which identity felt like a burden or obligation? Did I feel more integrated or more fragmented by the end of Q1? What this tells you is that if identity fragmentation increased, Q2 needs more integration work. If one identity dominated, maybe that's strategic, or maybe it's neglect. Pillar 2, energy economics. What was my average energy level throughout Q1 on a 1 to 10 scale? Which venture consistently drained the most energy? Which activities energized me? Did I end Q1 with more or less capacity than I started? And this tells you if you ended Q1 depleted, your energy allocation needs adjustment. If you ended energized, you found a sustainable rhythm. For me, I started Q1 at 8. I'm ending at a 5. And that's a problem. Pillar 3, the messy middle. How many times did I want to quit in Q1? What kept me going during low motivation periods? Which venture struggled most in Q1? Did I navigate failures or setbacks well, or did they derail me? And this tells you if you're still standing, you have resilience. If setbacks crush you, you need better failure recovery strategies. Pillar 4, Systems for sanity. What systems or frameworks actually worked for me in Q1? What systems did I abandon or ignore? Where did I waste the most time due to lack of systems? What one system would make Q2 significantly easier? And this tells you working systems stay. Abandoned systems get replaced or eliminated. New systems get built where chaos lives. And for me, the 3-question triage worked. The Eisenhower matrix didn't. So in Q2, I'm keeping triage and building a better client tracking system. Pillar 5, celebration and recalibration. What did I accomplish in Q1 that I'm genuinely proud of? What progress did I make that isn't measured in revenue or metrics? What do I need to release before entering Q2? What lesson from Q1 do I need to carry forward? And this tells you celebration isn't optional. It's fuel for the next quarter. I'm proud of showing up every single week, not quitting when motivation dropped, building systems that will serve me in Q2. After reflecting on all 5 pillars, ask, if I repeated Q1 exactly as it was for the next 3 quarters, would I reach December of 2026 in a state where I actually want to quit my 9-to-5, or would I be too burnt out to enjoy it? If the answer is too burnt out, something has to change. For me, the answer is burnt out, which means Q2 needs strategic adjustment. Based on your Q1 audit, what's the one thing I need to do differently in Q2 to make this sustainable? Not 10 things, just one. Maybe it's scaling back content to maintain energy, building better systems to reduce decision fatigue, hiring help if revenue supports it, shifting focus to a different venture, actually taking weekends off. One adjustment, that's how you iterate towards sustainability. Here's your work before Q2 begins. Complete your 5-pillar Q1 audit. Set aside 30 to 60 minutes this week. Answer the reflection questions for each pillar. Then answer the 2 synthesis questions. 1, if I repeated Q1 for 3 more quarters, would I be in a state to enjoy self-employment or burnt out? And 2, what's the one thing I need to do differently in Q2? Finally, plan one Q2 adjustment based on your audit. If energy was the issue, adjust your energy allocation strategy. If identity fragmentation was the issue, implement integration practices. If systems were lacking, build one key system in April. If motivation dropped, strengthen your future vision work. And if scaling was chaotic, create your stage scaling framework. You're not trying to fix everything. You're making one intentional adjustment that improves sustainability. If each quarter depletes you more than the last, you won't make it. But if each quarter teaches you how to build more sustainably, you'll get there strong. The audit isn't about judgment. It's about integration. Well, that's the end of season 1 of Multimind. So we covered managing chaos and identity confusion, strategic energy allocation with limited time, building revenue on single income budgets, staying motivated without crisis, positioning multiple services, intuitive prioritization when frameworks feel rigid, winter energy management, content ROI patience, scaling while maintaining, and today, the Q1 audit. If you've been listening since episode 1, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. If you just found this podcast, welcome. Go back and binge from the beginning. Season 2 launches in April. We're diving into Q2 themes, client delivery while building systems that scale, hiring your first help, and the mental load of growth. But before season 2 starts, if you want to be a part of this podcast, submit your voice note or message. Go to multimindpodcast.com and tell me, what's your biggest takeaway from season 1? What mental wellness challenge do you want addressed in season 2? Keep it under 60 seconds. If Multimind served you in Q1, subscribe so you don't miss season 2. Leave a rating or review. It helps other multi-hyphenates find us. And share your favorite episode with someone building multiple ventures. Remember, your mental wellness doesn't have a side hustle. It's the main event. I'm Artis Desjardins. This has been Multimind Season 1.